to force a bubble or a bop now, and it's been like
Do,
6
do you think?
minutes.
Do you think there's a world where Chaz gets full mana and then he goes for the full send edge with wings and everything? He just goes in and just pretends he's a paladin for a bit.
I mean, I just don't know if you do enough damage. I swear Chimera Shot healing is actually obnoxiously high. It'll actually
It's like
he'll
5%.
I swear it's an insane amount. He'll probably Holy Shock judge him. He'll Chimera heal it back, and then he'll have Holy Shock judge off cooldown, and he'll Chimera and heal it back. I mean, that's what's been going on right now. Chaz has just been tossing a judgment and hasn't even scratched the Hunter's health bar yet.
I don't feel like he's committed, yet. Like he's not committed.
You think
to
he's
the
got a
cause
secret
yet.
strat? He's just trying to pick his mom. He's just like waiting for
I
Sniper to get angsty and trinket a Hodge or something, and he's gonna go for it.
This is Chaz we're talking about. What's his team? He's in the workshop. You think this man is not cooking right now? He is cooking. He is cooking up the strat right now. Right now, him, Mir, Albrecht, they're probably calling up the entire ladder, discussing how they're gonna win this. They're probably discussing with like the entire like class order hall of paladins. Flynn is probably in the call, telling him, "Just do this, bro." And I think they're gonna figure it out. I swear. I think there's gonna be a moment in the game where sniping trinkets to like do damage, and then Chess is gonna wait for his time. He's gonna wait for a Chimera to come in. Then he's gonna send the Hodge, wings, and just full send the damage. Go bubble offensive. Yeah.
I mean,
Let's be honest, it's not
full
gonna happen.
bubble offensive. I mean, you're living in a fantasy land, right? Chaz just wants the tie, dude. Chaz is just playing for the tie. Honestly, this is just sniping. Whoever gets more mentally exhausted from this is the real loser. Like, you need to do whatever it takes to not make you mentally exhausted for the rest of the series, because obviously, like, when all three players are alive, it's a very dangerous game. You got to be on the ball. But in this 1v1, there's not really a lot of threat going between these players. So this is more just like a mental thing. I think, like, yeah, you don't want to wear yourself out, honestly.
He's just taking a break.
Like, I mean, it's been like 10 minutes now, and he hasn't got even close. Chaz has just got up in mana. He hasn't got a bubble or a bop. Like, I don't think in a 1v1 that he's really going to be able to do anything from this point. I feel like we need to make a new rule that's like, if it comes down to this, that they can make like a gentleman's agreement or something to make it a tie, because both of them obviously want the tie. They both want the tie at this point. It's just a situation where it's just not going to be possible, I think, after watching them play it through here as their cooldown. So I think they are working that through, possibly to be negotiating a tie at this point to save ourselves the 12 minutes of Chaz running across the map. I think that's what we're doing here. It's going to be an agreement. We're going 1-1, which, I mean, for No Tears Just Dreams is way better than than what it would have been. So that effort was worth it for them.
Yeah. So I think if you are No Tears Just Dreams, this was the surprise from the workshop, right? This is their kind of surprise on the blind. They're switching it up, and you're still able to get it. And we got to watch this part. So Chaz here, he's trapped with no bubble, no divine shield. Albrecht gets forced into the ice block, but first he sends a little combustion here on the priest to get the Garrote. This priest is finished by Albrecht blocks. Chaz gets monkey blinded, comes out of the block, and at this point, they're just attacking Mir. Like Sniping and Lovenum are just attacking Mir. Mir drops very low there, gets around the corner. Something proxy Sheet Def here. Yeah, there it is. You can hardly see it, but it's procced right there. Then they get a scatter onto Chaz. Sniping goes in for the trap. Doesn't get the trap, but they still have enough damage to kill him. Then, in this situation, this is where it gets really crazy, because here, Lovenum should be dead. This is where Albrecht was hard casting. I wish we could see the part where Albrecht is hard casting a Pyroblast on Lovenum, just complete BM.
And he loses
that, yeah, and that's actually what lost him, because he got his anti-magic shell back, and then they get to this situation, and then there's the cauterize proc, and now Albrecht is finished. And they're actually lucky that Chaz manages to kill Lovenum here. He has a living bomb on him still. That's what actually kills Lovenum.
I wanted him to
here.
Dark Sim a heal at some point. Something.
If he Dark Simmed a Holy Shock, that would have been actually 5 head. That would have been so insane. But regardless, I think if you are... Yeah, but
I want to see the pyro moment. I can't believe this is a time because he BMs. I want to see
it. Is. It's 100% on the pyro. It's 100% on the pyro. If you just cast a Scorch Fireblast there, there's a very high chance he just kills him before he gets AMS. There's no way.
1% block, and then they just randomly kill the rogue and a pet stun. And they just turn around on the rogue and drop Mir instantly as he tries to run around a corner. I'm really hoping we got the hard cast Pyroblast. because I feel like we don't often see BM. I feel like BM like that, like and then it actually costs you a game. Like I feel like we almost never see that. So they drop Mirror, and now they think there's no way they can lose. It's Pally Mage against Hunter, right? Oh, I don't think we have it.
It's right before this. It's
right
in the Dragon's Breath. That was right before this. It's like 5 seconds before that happens. But still, I mean, we saw it. We know what happened, and that's the only reason why he gets his shell back right there. So if your no tears just dreams, you're happy. You can't be more happy than this. You just got a free tie. You just got a free, instead of being 0-1, you're 1-1. You got a free point basically. So and that's on the blind pick. Now you know what to expect. You know it could be Fire Mage, Holy Paladin, Rogue. Actually, what do you think, Supertees? Do you think Workshop is switching their composition? Do you think we're going to see a Frost Mage like we saw on Friday? Do you think we're going to see the Fire Mage? Do you think we're going to see Chaz switch back to Priest? Switch to Shaman. He plays Shaman too.
I don't think they're going back to Priest. I think they're going to play Paladin. It seems like if you're going to play Fire, you're likely killing a healer. Feels like Fire, that's like the main advantage of Fire, is being able to just train a healer and annoy them and silence them and DB them and watch them slowly rot. Yep. So this all in with the Paladin on the healer makes a lot of sense. I could see the PhDK maybe playing not Priest, possibly. Maybe something that's a little bit more durable for surviving through kind of a pain train like that. But the Priest could, I don't know, like getting a Fear on the Rogue. I don't feel like we saw like a lot of effective cross CC from No Tears.
Yeah.
Oh, he's we are going to see he is going Frost. Yeah. What?
I like it. What? Honestly, I'm going to say something that maybe this might be a little bit controversial, but I think that Priest is not good whatsoever into this comp, into RMP. I think that Priest is got to be the worst healer. Right yeah, I know. But I think Priest is so easy to CC, and once you CC them, their pressure stops, and that's their whole win condition to win in 1 minute. So I feel like you just Nova CS Ring Priest or Deep Ring Priest or Cheap Shot.
We flared him out. That's so bad.
Oh, that's not ideal for me. Who are they going to go? They're going after the DK here behind the pillar, but he gets gouged on the AMS. This is actually not that bad. If they can get crowd control onto Jamusa, it could still work. They get a disarm there as well onto Lovenam, but Albright is pushing in, and look what's happening, man. And Jamusa, I will say, is playing very well right now with the positioning, but look at Smoke Bomb coming out onto Lovenam, almost going down instantaneously here. Can they get the crowd control into Jamusa? Albright finds the polymorph. They got the power infusion. Here comes the damage. Can they get the reshift? They get the deep freeze out of it. There's the pain suppression onto Lovenam, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. They still have another Smoke Bomb here, Super Tees.
Oh, the counter spell into a kidney shot. Lovenam has Trinket. I'm so surprised to not see him use it here. It's Garroted. Anti-Magic Shield comes up so soon, but the barrier's way too late. I can't help but feel like they just underreacted so heavily in this game. They just sat CC, they sat back, and they just fell behind. They couldn't get on top of them, and they got split up, and it just felt like the trades were not good whatsoever for the Workshop here. Or not, sorry, for the Workshop, for the PhDK. So, yeah, the Workshop, I feel like they got a free game here. It just seemed like that, like, at the beginning of the game, he kind of icebounded. I don't know if it was even a cheap shot, but Icebound was blown through instantaneously. And then he dies almost to a Lichborn and anti-magic zone because they're not stopping the mage. And Sniping gets a nice deterrence here, avoiding a fear, actually. Deterrence is Chaz's fear, and then Monkey blinds him into a trap. But just felt like Outbreak did way too much. And then this counter spell, he tried to be greedy. He power infused and went for a penance and thought it'd be too fast. So he could just cast it, but he get counter spelled on it. And then at that point, it's pretty much game over. But he could have trinketed the kidney. He didn't even use Gargoyle. Like, I feel like this game didn't even get going for them.
So in this point, Lovenam has already used his AMS and his IBF and his AMZ now as well on the Smoke Bomb. So this opener has been huge. And big reason for that is because Mir gouged the anti-magic shell. Then here, they use the Master's Call onto Lovenam. Albright is able to, this is after they got a sheep and a deep on the priest. And then now they kidney shot, and Mir knows. So this is really, really important what they're doing here. So they counterspell the priest on the kidney shot so it doesn't get gripped. Then they drop a Nova on the DK, on the Smoke Bomb, just in case Jamusa is going to grip him. Because the only way the DK lives there is if Jamusa gets that leap of faith. So they're actually playing really well between the Rogue and the Mage here to make sure that the grip doesn't kind of slip in. I would say the biggest mistake in this game is the opener. They're too split. The priest has to run in there with them. So they can actually get offensive. They played just too defensive. They got too split up. That first bomb got basically the DK's entire spell book. And there it is, counter spell into the Nova, into the Smoke Bomb, and then they Garrett to DK as well, and shiv him inside the Smoke Bomb so he can't get any heals. Yeah, I think this was a really clean game from the RMP, but this is also what I was saying. The priest is so susceptible to CC. Like if you get one CC on him, it's just there. It just sticks, you know. So
I also wonder
that's why I
if,
don't like a priest PHDK into RMP.
I wonder.
So easy to CC them.
Do you think that they changed gear at all, expecting a paladin team? Because I think because it was a tie, it's like a blind pick game 2, right? So you don't know what they're gonna play. So I don't. I mean, I've never seen a tie before. I've never seen a tie before. But I'm assuming that if there's a tie in game 1, it's like you just play blind pick again. It's on the grand. So like they might have thought it's gonna be Paladin Fire Mage, and I wonder if the DK took Brazil off because they just trained the priest. So maybe if the DK played a little bit more PV gear or something, and maybe that's why he was so easy to kill in game number 2 here. But it's match point. We're going to Runes of Lordran. It'll be a really difficult map for Albraic to be able to survive here on the Frost Mage. With very limited points of line of sight. I think you can honestly also kill the priest. I've seen PHDKs. I think Hydra went down in one game in the offline bracket where the PHDK just kind of swapped to the priest. They saw him in the open and dropped him really quickly. So this is going to be a very difficult map for the workshop. But that last game, it just seemed like No Tears Just Dreams needed to figure out what they were going to do strategy-wise. And I think it's just likely they weren't expecting the Frost Subtlety Priest. I think they were probably expecting the same comp that tied in game 1.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the gear companion, and he's rocking full PvP gear. There's not a single point of Brazil that he could have squeezed in anywhere. Yeah, he's built his character very defensively. So I think that's just what happens if a rogue mage frost mage rogue melts DKs. Like they can absolutely murder DKs. So if you're playing this priest PHDK, you just gotta run at them. You know, like their game plan isn't longer than a minute. Like if this game goes on longer for a minute, most of the time it's in favor of the workshop, unless you have like insane pressure, you know. So for No Tears Just Dreams, I feel like they just want to go in there and just full send it and utilize the master spell, because that is the strength of the priest, right? You get that master spell so you can just KO the mage instantly. So I think that's what you got to do. Don't get split up, run in together, and just zug. Less brain, more zug. Let's see what they decide to do here. Chaz is still in the room. Albrecht's in Invis. They didn't get him out. And Mir is also in stealth. So the rogue and the mage are both invisible right now. You get a sheep shot into a full ring of frost. No, they're actually
all hitting the priest.
Big opener here on the priest, but the anti-magic zone comes out. And here comes the scatter trap onto Chaz. Albrecht could be in big trouble here, Sid.
All right, pain suppression, anti-magic zone, but they get a ring of frost now. They could switch targets. They're trying to race down the mage, but the gargoyle got ring of frosted as well. That's a big value ring of frost. Albraic is able to stay offensive with it as a result. He gets a double fear. Jamusa's taking tremendous pressure, drops down the barrier. He gets counterspelled again. Albraic is just sniping every cast that he sees, but he's forced into the block. Full kidney. He trinkets. Can he grow out the trinket? Does he have a way to do it? They're going to blind him low and get a double fear. He liches out of it into a dismantle. Complete control from the workshop. If they can survive just a little bit longer here, can they get a sap? They get a sap off the blind. I think he's about to get Sam X, dude. When you trinket the kidney, you get blind sap 3 times into another full kidney, and then you're probably just getting sent Garrote likely into a full kidney here, and he's got no trinket. But Albraic falls at the same time. We're going to another 2v2. Chaz and Mir. Priest Rogue is really strong. I can't see them losing this, but they don't have any CDs.
They have a shadow dance, and they're going to really need to make it count here. Mir going for the gouge, pulling up some energy. There's the scatter onto Chaz. It double breaks. Fear. He gets a fear onto sniping. Did they get the fear onto the monkey as well? Because then he can't use that roar of sacrifice. Oh, nice. He dropped the roar of sacrifice right before that fear, and that's why Mir and Chaz are not going here. They use their shadow dance there as well. So if you are the hunter, you always want to time your roar of sacrifice with the shadow dance of the rogue. Those are synced for sniping. Sniping could be in trouble here, and it's all going to be about the setup. Can they land it onto Chaz? He's got no trinket for another 30 seconds. Mir's got nothing as well for a little bit. If they can land it, they can take the game over. But look what Chaz is doing. He's standing inside the Death and Decay. It might actually break to that, but they do get a full trap. Mir, what are you going to do? He drops a defensive smoke bomb there. Sniping not able to connect with the damage, but still Silence. A lot of pressure. Silence shot coming out onto Chaz. Sniping, looking for the KO. Can he find it? No way! Mir gets dropped! And no way, No Tears Just Dreams are going to make it happen. Again, but this time no tie. This time they take the full point.
Oh my god. Okay, we're going to game 5. We're probably going back to Nagrand though. They're not gonna have that Runes of Lordran where the mage just can't get away from him there. So it's gonna be a rough ride, but they're not going down without a fight. And now as the workshop, like, do you go back to the Paladin comp? or do you just keep playing the Frost Rogue? Like, did they win as Frost Rogue because Frost Rogue is better? Or did they win because the PHDK just didn't have the right moves like at all in the game, right?
Yeah.
In the Grand One.
I don't know. I don't know what you do in this situation. I think I would stick with the Frost RMP, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. There's multiple ways for them to win this matchup, but these are some of the best, RMPs in the world. So we can't really. We'll just have to wait and see what they decide to do. But one thing's for sure: no tears, just dreams, man. This team is very entertaining to watch. They've had a blast so far in these brackets. And this series has definitely delivered so far. Absolutely insane. Look at this. Look at the ending of this as well. So Chas, you see how he walks on top of all this like red stuff on the ground? He wants to break a potential trap with Death and Decay. That's why he walks out like that, but it times out. And then the grip on the grip. Love Nub comes in with the KO. Sniping as well before that with the silencing shot. And this is the problem, right? So you blind sap the priest, but at the same time, Sniping he has free reign this entire time. He's seeing Chas as well. And Jamusa is going to die here, but the deep freeze onto Sniping is not going to be enough crowd control. They needed to get like a fear maybe out of that deep freeze. Actually, did they have the fear? I don't think they did. But yeah, if they just had one more CC there on the Hunter, Albrecht probably gets that kill and gets away cleanly. But since they weren't able to find it, he sadly got sacrificed in that exchange. And the really unfortunate thing here for Mir and Chaz is, of course, getting into this situation. Like, on paper, Priest Rogue probably wins this matchup, right? But when you're in a situation where if the Hunter lands one trap, you lose, it's all of a sudden you're not in a great spot, right? So I feel like Mir and Chaz, they probably did about as good as you can in that situation. They needed to buy more time to be able to win that.
Okay, we're going to Game 5. I thought PHDK would have an easy ride through this series, but it seems like the Workshop have been cooking up some interesting strategies here, different compositions as well. Now they've got their map pick. They're going to know where we're going. I think it's probably Nagrand. Yeah. Okay, so we're back on Nagrand. No Tears, Just Dreams. Do they change off Priest? Like, you seem to think like the Priest is a liability for it, but no, they're going to lock it in here. And now the Workshop. Do they do Paladin Fire or do they do Frost Disc for the final game?
They have all of the options here. That's the beauty of being the one that has the advantage in game number 5. I don't know. Workshop have some options. What are they going to do? They could play Fire Pally. They could play Frost Pally as well. If they just want to tunnel the Priest, maybe a Paladin healer with Frost could be good for that. But at the same time, I don't know. I think maybe they just lock in the Fire Holy Pala again. I feel like Fire Holy Paladin, it's pretty solid. Like, if you're in a game 5, you're not sure if you're gonna win or not. It's always a nice idea to just bring in a Fire Mage. If you get the right crits, you get the impact procs, you can just solo win the game out of nowhere. But it just depends, right? If they feel like they played that last game on Ruins, okay, they're gonna lock it in. I was gonna say, if they feel like they played that game about as good as you can, and there's just nothing they could have done, then probably switch to Fire. But if they feel like there's room for improvement there, they could have played a bit better, then lock it in again. And I like it. They also have the map here again, so the opener is going to be very, very important in this matchup. We saw the Workshop on their Nagrand win, able to really, really get a big lead with that opener.
Yeah, definitely. This is completely about the opener. Can they pull the Rogue out of stealth? Can they get in a good position? Everything is just going to snowball off the effects of like the first 3 global cooldowns of the game, basically. Can Jamusa death one of the first sheeps or avoid the deep freeze or have something to be able to prevent the deep freeze CC? This is all going to come down to literally like the first 5 seconds of this game to be able to dictate the pace of it. Make sure you've got tempo, you've got the advantage, you've got the lead. This is a series that has had multiple cross kills, down to a 1v1, down to a tied situation. Now in game 5, anything is possible here. No Tears, Just Dreams. They saw how badly it can go if they're split up, so they need to make sure that they play as a team moving into game 5.
Yeah, let's see it here. Match point. This is it. This is the upper bracket game. Loser will drop down to the lower bracket where they could possibly be eliminated. The winner will go straight to the grand finals and wait for the rest of the day for their opponent. This is a lot on the line. No Tears, Just Dreams versus the Workshop. RMP versus PHDK. Game number 5 on the Grand Arena. Who is going to take it here? We got Albrecht, Chaz, and Mir about to cook up another opener. And for No Tears, Just Dreams, I really feel like if they can get the rogue or the mage out of stealth early on, it's going to be so good for them and for their pressure in general. Albrecht going for that invisibility. And I think he's going to be able to
got the mage.
that. But Lovenum gets him out. This is
Instant
a big opening
AMS.
for the PHDK. Big AMS. They're connecting all the way onto Albrecht here. And Jim back in the back line here, just staying away from crowd control, letting his DK and his Hunter. Oh my god, massive crits onto Albrecht. He's going to be forced into the ice block. Can he get the Master Spell? They do get the Master Spell. Full trap on Chassis. Trinkets out. If they get the fear, it could be game over.
Musa, he's in position, moving closer. He doesn't want to risk it. He's just trying to Master Spell CC. They silence the mage. Musa's playing safe, avoiding crowd control behind the pillar at the moment. But he spent so much mana. He's probably purging a lot in this type of matchup, trying to dispel, make sure his teammates are out of CC. They're going to strangulate onto Chaz. Lovenum's moving in. He gets dispelled out of the Nova. Nice dispel by Jamusa. He's getting in there for a fear. Is he going to get in line of sight? He gets deep frozen before he can into a Ring of Frost, but it is going to be on DR. But it might not matter. It's so much damage onto the mage right now. He's just standing on top of him. They eat the freezing trap, but he might just die anyways. It's so much damage. He impact stuns the Hunter. Feign death on the polymorph. I'll break. Blink counter spells the priest to try and turn it around, but sniping is just pew-pewing so much damage onto Albraic. I don't think he can stay in, but he gets gripped. He's not going to be able to get away. They dismantle the Death Knight for a moment, trying to stall down the pressure, but it's really the Hunter that is just raining in arrows from afar. He manages to get back to the pillar. They gouge the Hunter. Death Coils are coming in. He's chains of ice. He can't move. He's trying to get back and spell steal some buffs off. Try and stabilize a little bit. They're standing on the priest, getting ready for the freezing trap. They defensively fear behind the pillar into a polymorph. Sniping trinkets into a cheap shot. Kidney shot over onto the Death Knight. Deep freeze on Jamusa. They got every trinket from the PHDK. They still have one more ice block. They've still got one more chance here, but Outbreak's mana. He's actually totally out of mana. How is he going to get an Evocate?
Yeah, it's not looking too good here for Albrecht, but Jim had to trade out his trinket as well. It's going to be about which one of these priests can land the fear first, which one of these mage/hunters can land the CC first, and it looks like Sniping is moving in for it. He gets dispelled on the fear. The Water Ellie eats the trap there. Lovenum in a lot of trouble. Jim with no mana left as well here in the back line, spanning out the heals there with the penance. He had the Aura Mastery for that one as well. He's moving in for the game-winning fear potentially. Can he land it on the Chas? He has Will of the Forsaken. He could easily go for it, even if he gets feared first. But Chas with the fear ward, I think they're on the fear. I think he's going to be able to avoid it. What an insane play. He's playing that Night Elf, so he can't win that fear ward, but he can avoid the fear. He can buy his team time. Deep Freeze comes out. There's the Ring of Frost. They need to take down Lovenum right now. They get the Ring of Frost, but Albrecht's on 1% HP. Defensive by the Hunter. Sniping. They can't get the kill just yet. Albrecht's still very low. Lovenum all over him. Can he take him down? Jim USA moving in for the game-winning fear. Finds the triple. There's the silencing shot onto Albrecht. Lovenum is all over him, spamming out the death code, spamming out the necrotic strikes, and it's gonna be a cross kill for the third time in this series.
Oh my god. Well, Chaz has way more mana right now, but who wins this match? I feel like Hunter has got a lot of CC for the rogue and can just kite him out. And Emir doesn't have CDs. Jamusa is drinking. Chaz is trying to get in there. Fear's coming off CD soon. No Holy Ward or Fear Ward for Jamusa here. He's gonna get kicked actually on a cast, and he's snared by the crippling poison, so Chaz might be able to sneak up on him here into the gouge now. Maybe setting up for a kidney shot. Shadow Dance is in 10. He's just going to send damage here, but it's not like he's really... Maybe baits a Roar of Sacrifice. Maybe he's just going to kill him. It's not even Shadow Dance. What is this damage? They fear him out of the kidney shot, preventing him from recovering. Mir goes behind the pillar. They're trying to dispel the Hunter's Mark. He has to dodge the flare. He steps back in at the end of the fear to go for a Garrode. He's got Shadow Dance. That's it! The Workshop have done it! 3-2.
Woo! The Workshop, baby, coming in after getting absolutely demolished every single 2v2. They finally find it, and when it matters the most, they are going to be going to the grand finals. What a well-deserved victory coming out from these boys. And especially, I gotta say, man, Chaz, what a king. He deft multiple scatter shots. He fear warded the fear that was going to lose him the game. He did so many clutch plays to keep Albrecht in the fight. They're able to find the kill in the very, very last second. That defensive blind there by Mir onto the Hunter as well. Just super clean work. Then they do manage to find the fear, but Lovenum actually does go down here. And also Albrecht eating that one trap with his Water Ellie was sick. But what actually killed Lovenum there in the end, that was actually a tremendous amount of damage right before Albrecht died. I think he sent a little Ice Lance there, and Mir might have just sent an Abyss at the same time. And yeah, they're able to identify very quickly a win condition in this 2v2 and actually take it home here for the Workshop. And this is obviously the very beginning of that, but I like that strategy of just kind of fearing the priest and sending him out of it. Mirlo very, very experienced in twos. If there's probably the worst rogue to go up against in a 2v2 match, it's got to be Mir and like Abizura. These guys, they know every single opportunity that they can find. Look at that dodge on the flare to get the re-stuff, to get the Garrot. Like, it's just, yeah, you can tell this guy, he played a lot of rogue.
Played a lot of rogue for many expansions, and not a lot of people expected the composition to maybe DXB, but
I can surf or I can fish. Fishing gives me more Pokemon. No, Grant, I went to go get the timer balls and the guy who you said would give it to me didn't give it to me. This is correct still, right? Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I added, Grant, was when we get to $500, I'm going to run one game of Fortnite on my main. And I'm going to win it. New lie unlocked. Yeah, Muscle, dude, rest in peace, Muscle Band. Okay, so here's the, does Barraskewda evolve, or is that just a sucky Pokemon that you just get? If I surf, then I get Barraskewda or Sharpedo, because the other ones are dupes. Skewda's not sucky. Oh, I feel like he's sucky. Oh, they're now in Rustboro for purchase. Oh, okay. Word. All right, I'll go get them real quick. Are there like fights over here or something? Do these people fight me, or can I take whatever that is? Well, I can definitely take whatever it is if I just go here, huh? Oh, that was not worth it. I'm terrified of spinners. Anybody know what Megastone that is? And if it's worth doing? It's a Lopunite. Okay, well, I already threw my Lopun encounter, so. Okay. I just leveled this up, right? Let's go! I'll take Waterfall over Aquatail. Spirit Shackle, neato. By Ice Fang. Final Gambit's crazy. Superpower? I feel like Superpower's better than this. Well, Psychic Fang's kind of cool. What do I want? What do you guys think? Superpower or Psychic Fangs?